chapels, one.
Yeah, you're talking about the 16th chapel.
Oh, 16. Okay. Well, I don't know. I think it was built for Pope Sixtus, Sixtus. So the name was kind of his name. And then, well,
Latin's kind of funny.
Yeah, one more minute.
They called the radix, the base, octal. And IBM thought, okay, that's fine, we use that term, octal. And then they went on a little bit further. And then they started thinking about base 16, but they couldn't call it that. And they couldn't use the Latin because IBM just couldn't cope with the idea of sexadecimal. So they went over to Greek.
Seems to have an alternative. Where's your
I want a word processor that uses my bullet point numbering order. Well, I usually go A, 2, Roman numeral 3, Dalet, and I don't usually go beyond that because it requires too much effort.
Yeah, we have a story about a young kid. He's trying to learn to how to write, and so he went to school. His father is managing a business, so he wanted the kid to learn some writing so he can keep the books. So he sent him to a teacher, and teacher would the first lesson. The teacher say, well, you learn the letter 1. And which is this? 1. You say, okay, that's easy. And then 2, just add another 1. And then 3, just add another 1. So that's the lesson, the first day lesson. So the kid was very happy. Learn the writing, learn the numbers. So he went back home and tell his father, I've learned everything. Okay. So the father says, okay, very nice. And now if you have learned everything, then how about write a letter to Mr. 1? 1 is 10,000. He said, no problem. I go and just go write to Mr. 1. And after half a day, the father, he hadn't finished. So the father went and look at it. How come you haven't finished the letter? He said, I'm still writing Mr. 1 because 10 million, I have to draw 10 million lines. Yes. So it will take some time. But the 1, the Chinese 1 is, okay, that's worth 10,000 strokes. All right, shall we start? Okay, good. All right.
We're 3 minutes late.
Oh, we are late. Okay. Well, okay.
In the agenda, I say as gently as possible. Yes, we have a schedule. Sometimes things don't happen according to it. Get over it.
Yeah. Okay. Today's topic is Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel frescoes. But before that, I've bring a box full of books, and I want to show you. Okay, here is something that I did the research last month. Coconut oil. Wow. And one book stop Alzheimer's. Well, that's what I need. Okay, I'm getting there. So I got almost all the books on topic of coconut oil on Amazon, and I'm very glad to learn it. For one thing, my uncle, the second brother from my mother's family, when he was old in Taiwan, he's always telling me, I just love fat pork. And then he said, well, I knew it's bad, okay? It's bad for my heart, but I just love it, okay? Can't stop eating it. So that was my uncle. And my father, when he got old, he just loved fat pork and with skin on it. And every time he came to my house for dinner, he would ask my wife to prepare a dish of the pork leg with skin and fat on it. Well, he just loved it. And one time, my wife said, "Well, let's skip it for his health." But he came in, "Where is the pork?" So he just loved it. And now I'm getting old, and I love pork with fat and skin. And I couldn't really convince my wife to cook it. But every time, if I go with her to Oakland for shopping, we go to the grocery store and go to the meat counter, and I always ask for the big piece of pork with fat and skin. 5 layers, okay? Skin, fat, and meat, fat, and meat. And that's the best kind of pork that I like. Until now, I didn't get the proof that the pork is good for me. But here, these books show that pork is good. And the problem with American, diabetes, the obesity, heart disease, and all this, the root cause of it is the vegetable oil, especially the soybean oil. And we have been advertised and brainwashed for 100 years that solid fat is bad for you. It causes cholesterol, and cholesterol plugs your artery. So I think the whole American population gets converted, brainwashed into using vegetable oil, specifically soybean oil. And if you use a lot, you are uncivilized, unclean, uneducated, unhealthy. And that's the end of the pork fat. But these books shows that the best oil for cooking and for lots of other things is really coconut oil. And you should take note of it. All right. And then back to the Michelangelo. So Sistine Chapel frescoes. And the Sistine Chapel was built in 1473, and its purpose was the Pope conclave of College of Cardinals. So every time a Pope died, all the cardinals will come to Rome and form a conclave, and there they elect the next Pope. So the Sistine Chapel was built specifically for this purpose. But then the Pope always used to receive dignities and celebrate certain masses in it. The size of it, it's a big church, a single room church. And the length is 40 meters. The width is 1/3 of the length, 13 meters. And the height is half of the length, 20 meters. It is alleged to be the size of Temple of Solomon. So Rome built this temple. The intention was very, very clear that they have the heritage of the Jewish Old Testament. So it was built by Basil Pontelli for Pope Sixtus IV. That's why the name 16. And in 1508, Pope Julius II commissioned Michelangelo to paint the ceiling. So it took Michelangelo 4 years to finish to paint the whole ceiling. And when Michelangelo was old, Pope Paul III asked him again to paint the wall over the altar. And he did the painting, the Last Judgment. So these were sensational at the time. So when the Pope opened the Sistine Chapel for the populace, the whole room just flocked to it, and everybody was amazed at the painting. But lots of people were very unhappy with it because it got all the nude figures, and then only after Michelangelo died that the council, the Vatican Council, mustered enough strength to correct some of the nude pictures, what they call the fig leaf campaign, and they just get an artist to paint over the very private parts of some of the figures. So that's the first recorded censorship. That was quite successful. So after 500 years, these frescoes become basically covered with soot, and some part was grow mold, and there's lots of overpainting. You know, people try to fix it and put lots of things on top of it. So eventually, it all darkened. You can still see the figures, but you cannot make out the color. So in 1980, Vatican decided to restore it. And so in 1996, after the restoration, they published this book. And it has all the before and after pictures of all the frescoes. And these are really very nice pictures. So about 5 years ago, I found one copy in Cemetery Library, and I borrowed it and tried to scan the pictures, and then use the pictures to as the backdrop for Bach's B minor Mass. But scanning from a book, it's kind of hard because you cannot open the book fully, and so in the between pages there's always a problem with lighting. And so for the Christmas last year, I searched on the Amazon and tried to locate this book. And unfortunately, I searched and thought, well, lots of books are selling for less than $1. So I said, okay, I'll buy four or five of it. So I ordered them, and when they come back, it was this book. This book was published in 1972, and all the pictures are black and white. Okay. So it is for the time it's pretty good, but compared with the you can pass this thing around. So I got four copies, and I don't know what to do with them. So if you want to keep one, help yourself. But that's black and white. And so finally I got this. Finally I got this one, and this one sells for on Amazon. Its original price is about $80, and I got them for $14. And I got 3 copies of it. And one copy, I just open it up, tear down the spine, and open up the whole book so that I can actually scan the pages more conveniently. So, okay, show it. So these are I open up these pages and start scanning. The first time I scanned these pictures, because I want to use it on my video, I thought, 300 dots per inch is plenty enough. If you want to just show pictures on the screen, I think a screen can take about 700 pixels horizontally. So 300 dots per inch, that's plenty for video showing. But later, I found that I really want to scan the picture in higher resolution. So the 300 dots per inch becomes fuzzy if you want to zoom in. Okay. So what I really wanted to do, okay, here is this book, the information about this book. This book was done before and after the restoration. So the chief restorer wrote an article on the process of restoration. And the photographer is a Japanese, Takashi Okamura, and published in 1996. On Amazon, I always got another copy. And this was by the same photographer, but published in 2002. I thought that the 2002 would definitely be better, but it turns out that it's not any better except one picture. Okay, so the arrangement is a little bit different, and the coloring is also different. This book is essentially green. It emphasized the green color. And this book is basically emphasizing the red color. So the shading, the color shading are quite different. So these 2 books, I thought, well, I got 2 books and I should get enough images to build a digital model of the Sistine Chapel frescoes. Okay, so here the statement of faith. These over 2,000 years, Christianity have accumulated lots of treasures, lots of culture heritage in the process. But my point of view, in paintings, the high point is the Sistine fresco by Michelangelo. And I think it basically got rid of all the traditional imagery in Christianity. For example, all the saints got this halo on their head. Where this halo came from? Okay, but it's traditional. Okay, and all the painting before Michelangelo, it's like a group pictures. Everybody stand one next to it, and you got a picture, and that's how the painting was presented. And Michelangelo will just get rid of all these ideas of iconology, heritage. He just paint people like people. And in his painting, everybody, it seems to be, it's a snapshot of a movie. Okay, people are talking, people are doing things, and Michelangelo just get a snapshot of it and put it on his painting. So it's very lively. Each picture is telling a story. Okay. In process of acting. And in the music, I think the Bach's music statement of faith is the best composer. And among all his works, B minor Mass is the strongest statement of faith, because he basically he took the Catholic mass and wrote music behind it. And it was the strongest and most elaborate music stating the Christian faith. And the movies, lots of movies on Bible, various figures of in the Bible, Moses and all that. But I think the best movie is The Passion of Christ by Mel Gibson. Okay, it is very realistic presentation of the process that Jesus went through before and at the crucifixion. So these are, I think, important statement of faith. What I like to do, and I tried it a number of times, I want to do a multimedia synthesis of the best pictures, best imageries, with the best music. Okay, so that's, I have, a number of years ago, I tried to merge the fresco pictures with the B minor Mass. I like it, but the image I copied from the library book wasn't that good. So I think I thought this time, let me do it right. So I bought the book, tear it apart, so that I can scan all the images properly. So the goal is to do a digital Sistine Chapel. I want a complete digital model of the ceiling and the wall. And I want all the picture, basically two gigantic pictures that can zoom in and scan as well. I like to have it at the highest resolution so that I can zoom in and look at the details, as well as zoom out and look at the global image. So that was the goal. No luck. Okay. The images in this book, I thought it was complete. It's almost complete, but not quite. There's some parts And then it is very difficult to merge photographs seamlessly because of color shadings. Okay, so this is a very big problem. Color shadings. Well, there's lots of factors affecting color shadings. And first of all, photographic films. The film have different resolutions, have different color sensitivities. So, depend upon the film, you got the, and that's one factor in the shadings. And then the camera setting. When you take the pictures, the camera is the tool that record the image, and camera setting is very important. And the camera, there's distortions in the images that looking in the camera. And then the room lighting, very difficult. When you take especially pictures over large areas, it is very difficult to get the shading equalized. And then, of course, once the picture is taken, there's a process of color separation before the printing. And the inks used in the printing, they all affect the color shading. For example, these two books, one is green, basically greenish, and one is reddish. And it's kind of hard to paste them together. Okay. And of course, the scanner sensitivity, and finally the LCD display. The scanner, I think we can probably have more faith on the scanners than anything else. Okay, it still has its own sensitivity, red, green, and blue. But I think the current generations of scanners are pretty faithful in reproducing whatever you put on the flatbed. And LCD display, of course, this is what you see. But I think LCD displays are pretty good now, except that the limited resolution. Okay, but within the resolution, generally it can kind of faithfully present the image behind it. So with all these different factors, the image I scanned is not quite to my expectation that I can merge them together seamlessly. So there's a problem in the digital processing. My computer is old, memory is not large enough, and the system model that, as I expect, I conceived, is much bigger than what the computer can handle. And I'm using Photoshop 9.1. This is CS2, the free version that Adobe released. I'm too cheap. I don't want to buy a copy. And now they're in the clouds. So but you have to subscribe to it. I think it's $200 or $300 a month. You can subscribe, but you can access to all the Adobe tools. Yeah.
Have you looked into GIMP?
Yes. GIMP is not sophisticated enough. Okay. Yeah, it is pretty good for routine usage, but not if you want to process large pictures merge them and do lots of things with it. Okay. The most important features in the Photoshop is the layers. It allows you to create almost a unlimited number of layers, and then you can specify how these layers are merged together to give you the final presentation. And in each layer, there's lots of ways that you can manipulate each individual layer to get the effect that you wanted. So I'm still learning, and I'm still learning from the Photoshop 9.0. Now it's this was a CS2 in 2003, and now it is CS7 or something. I think the Adobe is still improving on it, and I'm just stay behind. But the setting currently, the largest picture is of 1.87 gigabyte. So the pixel is 43,000 wide and 16,000 in width. And this basically brought Photoshop to its knee. And if you have this large picture in the memory, everything you do takes 5-10 minutes. Okay, so of course I have plenty of time, but the patience kind of ran out. The wall picture is smaller, 22K by 25K, and it's almost 1 gigabyte. And one problem in Photoshop is that when you got layers, when you have many layers that you are sticking together, if it is if the entire structure is greater than 2 gigabytes, Photoshop will not save it. He said just it's too big, and you cannot save the project. And all I can do is get the image I wanted and flatten all the layers into one picture, and then Photoshop can save it in a JPEG file. Okay, so this is a problem. Okay, because if I can save all the layers, I can later on get in and do more work on it. But now I have to save one image, and if I want to make any modifications, it has to be on this saved single layer of image. So I don't know. I'm sure Adobe, the current version, can use much bigger memory and can do things faster, but I don't have experience. And then the Photoshop is a very complicated piece of tool. Hundreds of functions that you have to worry about. Hundreds of features.
Yes.
That you have to learn.
Yes. It's the same with the FBM.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think GIMP probably is much easier. Doesn't have that many menus and menu selections. But I don't have enough experience to badmouth it. Okay, so that's the problem. I wanted unlimited amount of memory so I can save an image as big as the photographer gave me, but it is not currently. In my limited experience, it's not possible. Well, technology is still advancing, so if I care to spend more money, probably I can do better. But I think I have plenty of time, but I don't want to spend any more money. I'm cheap. So let me see what are the questions before we go into some of these things.
Oh, you know that you were speaking of color problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can use Photoshop to balance those things out between.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. The problem with color shading is that there's at least 5 most important factors that you have to take care of. Brightness, contrast, and then the brightness and contrast is associated with red, green, and blue, 3 colors. Okay, so these 5, actually these are 6 factors. Brightness and contrast in red, green, and blue. Okay, so these 6 factors, Photoshop allows you to adjust them, but in a way that's not quite intuitive. Okay, so you can. There's lots of other ways to adjust the shadings, but all the shading adjustments are global. So you change the color setting of red, and it affects every pixel in the whole image the same way. Okay, the shading is the slow change of color within one picture. And that, at least I have not found a good way of control, local control.
It's almost like you need a sub-image. But
yes.
You gotta make sure, because if you don't do that right, you'll see this border.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yes, exactly. Okay, so the shading, there's the local, what the Photoshop gave you tools to do the global shading adjustments. Okay, but if the picture has local shading problems, then I haven't learned it enough to do the adjustments. I'm sure the layer structures has this. I think you can use layer structure to isolate local images, sub-images, and adjust them locally. But then it has to be merged into the whole picture, and that's difficult, or very labor-intensive. So let me see. Okay, let's just. I want to just show you a few samples of the image, and show you the problem I have. Okay. So for one thing, this book, all the images are reddish. So the red part is enhanced more than the blue and green. And in this book, the green part is enhanced more than the red and the blue part. So you can you can adjust the shadings, global shadings, to get the kind of shading you want. And one very interesting features in the Photoshop is that you can what they call the level adjustment. So when you choose not the level, in one of the shading adjustment, you can specify black color for adjusting, or gray color for adjusting, or white. And I think the most effective in adjusting color from these set of pictures, the best point is to adjust the white. Okay, if you pick the area in your photograph, a white area, you think this is definitely white. Click on that point, and the Photoshop would adjust all the colors based on this point. You see, this color you specify as white, then it would make the red and green and blue color as one. Adjust it as 255. Okay, so this point is set to blue, red, green, and blue, all to 255, and all the other pixels are so adjusted. Okay, and I thought that this was the most effective way to balance the colors, because presumably, if you think this area is white, then it has the maximum red and green and blue, and then the contrast and brightness will be adjusted accordingly. So that was very good. But
here's another thing. It just popped in my mind.
Yes.
What you're trying to do here is like image processing. You have to come up with like a two-dimensional digital filter to take care of that stuff.
Yes.
And
Yes.
usually what it ends up being is what's called a kernel. It's
a 3 by 3. Yeah, 3 by 3.
Odd number of pixels. And what it does is you apply it over the area you want, and then that will. This
is called a filtering.
Yes.
Of filtering, and you just set up a two-dimensional filter.
Exactly.
And then this filter you can apply to all the entire image to correct certain features. But that's very useful in adjusting the sharpness of the filter.
Yes, you're right. The physical, but you can also apply that to the color.
Yes. I think I didn't see any tools specifically.
That's why I noticed, because you use Photoshop, because I have seen it in
Yeah. So I haven't get into the real filters in Photoshop, because what my initial intention was to capture the images at the highest resolution.
Exactly.
Okay. Once you have that, then you can later on you can do sharpening and averaging and all these things later. Exactly. But you need to get the raw data, as much raw data in storage.
Exactly. In fact, in astronomy, CCDs, each pixel is digitized to 16 bits.
Yeah, right.
And even though it's kind of silly because, wait a minute. But
Yeah.
it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to,
silly wall.
well, and then you can get,
Yes. Yeah.
load,
Yeah. Yeah, you can get the very wide dynamic range. Yeah.
the background sky.
Yeah. Right. Right. Let me see. Okay. Let me show you a few pictures, and which kind of demonstrated the problem I've encountered. So let me just show you a few pictures. One particular picture that okay. That's in this library. Okay, here are the pictures I digitized from this book. This is the Last Judgment, the entire wall. This is the and I scanned these images at 612 and 240, 2400 pixels per inch. And in this thumbnails, you can see the difference. But this picture is scanned from this red book. And this picture is scanned from the green book. And the shading is quite different. Okay. And I have to decide how to do the proper thing. So actually, I'm sorry. These pictures are all from the. This picture is from the red book, and this picture is actually at very low resolution. And I believe this picture shows the proper shading of the original fresco, because it is part of a big picture. This is part of this picture, okay, and this is not focused on the wall. It's basically focused on the entire chapel on this end, but the shading of this one is probably the real proper shading, because it's not meticulously focused on this small part. Okay, but this one I have only the this picture, and in the book there is a picture which is the which focuses on the entire wall. Okay, this one has a much better resolution, but you see the shading is not uniform, and the middle part tends to be reddish, and the top and the bottom part seem to be bluish. Okay, but this is not a proper shading. Yes.
When you digitize these things, do you get red, green, and blue?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then you can probably do
yeah.
color adjustment.
Yeah.
In a region.
Yes. So there is a shading in this picture, which is very difficult to correct, because this blue seems to be the right color, but this one is reddish, and this one is not greenish enough. So, you know, although I can scan this one with better resolution, it is not, the shading is not correct. And it's difficult to correct the shading. And another problem is that this picture was taken with the altar, the candle and the cross on the altar, which block part of the image. Okay. So this picture, although I think it is closest to what I wanted, but it has the shading problem and it has the extra things blocking the image. And so this one has a better. It has a better picture. The candles and the cross were removed, so you have the full thing. And the other picture, the top was cut off, and this one has the top intact. But it has almost the right shading of blue, but the green shading still is off. I really like the green part of the earth to be greener. Okay, so this is almost right, but then the blue is more intense on top than at the bottom. So there is still a gradual shading in this picture. And then you know, this one it is greenish. Okay, the green color is much more enhanced, and which is not quite the color that I wanted as this one. So what I did was this will be the best picture in 2 books, but it is too greenish, and there's shading in it that I need to correct. So I basically took this picture and tried to correct the shading and make it as close as color-wise to this number 48. And then I think the best I could do when this picture is I think almost 1.4 gigabyte. Takes a while for any tool to load it. But I want to show you, I took this this picture and actually make 2 layers of it. In the top layer, I think that the one layer or the background layer, keep it the same. And the top layer, I would enhance the green component, okay, and then merge these 2 pictures together with a shading correction filter, okay. So the shading filter is that in this layer, I enhance the green part here, and keep the blue part on the top. And then this after the green is enhanced, I put that filter which slowly merge into the bottom one. And basically from here in the bottom, it's 100% of the copied layer, the green layer. And then it gradually merge into the other picture to the top of the figure of Jesus. Okay. And then this way, I correct the deficiency. I thought the deficiency in this image. So I would basically keep the blue shade here, enhance the green shade here, and then merge these two so that basically the blue shading will be the same top and bottom, and in the bottom part the green shade is enhanced, and this kind of gave the best balance from the basic picture of this one. Okay, and of course the original intention of okay, I got this picture there. It's a base of my model, and then I have lots of close-ups, and I can just put on the close-ups on top of it, so that I can get better resolutions wherever I can. But then it's hard, okay? And I wasn't able to really do a good job of it. So each sub picture I can paste that. So in the Photoshop, one thing I got used to, and I can do very successfully, is to merge the pictures from different photographs. And different photographs, there's a geometric distortions in all the pictures. Okay, and then the Photoshop has a great tool to adjust the distortions. So I can put one picture on, for example, here. I put on there's a close-up of this one, and I can adjust the distortions so that the top picture match almost perfectly on the bottom one. And this way, my thinking is that I can adjust the geometry very precisely on different layers. Okay, but it is the geometry the tools are sufficient to do the correction. Okay, so there's a global distortion that you can drag the four corners to match the image. And then there's even more sophisticated, what they call the warping function. So if you do the warping function, you just basically divide this image into 9 parts. And each part you can adjust to match 2 images. So this one gives you a much detailed local control over the image. So I can match the pixels, the location of pixels precisely, but the problem is to match the color. Okay, yeah. And they're just too many variables that you won't have to worry about.
And also, color is more art than it is science. I mean, you could do the science part of it, but you go.
Well, from the science is straightforward. Okay, so it's red and green and blue. Okay, yeah. It's just.
No, it's not. Red color is perception.
Yes, that's what was
pure perception.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. But the science so far
there's science behind the perception,
Uh-huh.
but your eyes are not accurate.
Well, okay.
Your eyes
Yeah,
are
it's almost.
But when
Hey, this is
your brain,
impressive. Right?
perception.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Perception not correspond with what somebody else sees. Perception, it's localized truth.
Uh-huh.
Correct. It's purely your perception is a truth to you,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but it is not my truth. Very definitely not mine.
Right, right. That's right. That's
Very
right.
definitely, I see that.
Yes. And then, you are colorblind, and each of us are colorblind in degree.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
difference in tones and
Yeah,
colors.
you are red, maybe your red cone may be more sensitive than other people's. Yeah. So the perception, yes, it is.
But there are actually reports of people, maybe about 2% of the population that actually see four colors, not three. There's a type of organ.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be. But the science is that we have basically determines that red, green, and blue, these three colors, can be manipulated to form any color that you can conceive. But well, somebody are more sensitive in certain areas, so they can see things differently. When the other person would see it the same way. Okay, so this is the best I can do. So far, I think if I wanted to do my music, to merge the music, I would just use this picture. And if you zoom in, because it is only one page, okay, and this is about 10 and 12. So digitize it at 1200. So you got about 12,000 pixels over the picture. So that's the resolution, kind of limiting. But I should be able to do better, okay? And if I can get the higher resolution pictures merged into this one, then I can see deeper and I zoom in further, okay? So, but I try to putting together the edges all showed up. And the eye is sensitive to these edges. Okay.
Do you have some video you want to show us?
Yes. So if you adjust this edge perfectly, the other edge would be off. Okay. So it's the shading, the global shading has. I think finally I thought that. This morning in the car, that the proper way of doing this is to do two-dimensional Fourier transform, okay? And to do the two-dimensional Fourier transform, the lower field coefficients need to be other corrections that you want to apply. The brightness is the intensity, the first order. Okay, the zeroth order, and then the linear corrections in the x and y direction, and then the quadratic correction. So these three factors: the zeroth order, the brightness correction, and the linear shadings, x and y, and then the quadratic shadings. If you take care of these 5 terms, and you can probably, but every correction on each color, okay, probably you can get the image to be flattened so that you can merge them more easily together. And then I remember that when I was in Lucky, we're doing the non-destructive testing, and we take the X-ray images and really process them extensively. And I remembered there are 4 knobs on our image processor. And you can correct X and Y axis, the linear term, and also the correct or the quadratic terms on either X and Y axis. So this one we call the image flattening. So this way you can have an image which is shaded quite severely in the X-ray image, and then adjust them to be basically have a flattened view. So these are the things we need to do in red, green, and blue. Okay, so I think I will just show you this picture. Any more questions? Okay, then I'll play you the 2 clips on the video. So do I have it here? Yes, yes. Okay. Let me see. I have this thing set up to play the last segment. Okay. The last segment, I just use individual pictures to accompany the music. Hey. What's going on there? Okay, yeah. All right, this is the last piece, and it just shows static shots of the church and the walls. And then I'll show you the first piece, which gives you a scanning using the After Effect to take one image and then zoom in and scan it, zoom and pan over the picture. So this is the basically static.
That's a little too loud, King.
Okay. Wow, the lights. Okay, now I want to show you the first part. The first part is use the huge picture on the ceiling, and then scan, and then zoom, and then move the images around, like you have a camera that you can take the pictures all over the roof. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. And
This is good for some people who can go to Italy, but also can get an idea of being able to get enough.
yeah. Even if you go to Rome, you can visit the Sistine Chapel, but I don't know how much time they allow you in there, because hundreds, thousands of people have to there, so they must have give you 10 minutes to go through it, and you can see anything in detail that way. So you got a better tour of the Sistine Chapel.
Swiss guard with a heavy-duty electric cattle prod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people visiting that chapel. It's
I noticed that there or not the Swiss guards you're looking for. I noticed that there's a 3D virtual tour on this site called openculture.com of various places in Rome, including the Basilica of St. Peter and the Sistine Chapel. So,
I'm sure that there are places you can visit, and there's even in Wiki, there's very extensive articles on these frescoes. It has been there for a long time, but I look at the Wiki pictures, terrible. The resolution was, I think, 500 by 300. Yeah, you can get an idea, but you cannot see much of it. And the shading was too much bluish.
Yeah, it might be cool to see if there could be some synthesis of this online virtual tour and virtual reality. Is it Oculus is the latest, greatest thing?
Yeah. But I don't think any of these things you can see figures that clear as in the book. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is basically digitizing this book and give you all the nicest pictures at a good resolution. And some of the pictures, the hands, God's hand and Adam's hands. Well, you can look at the details. It's so pretty, okay? So you can see how Michelangelo did these things. In many of the nude angels, the hair was painted. You can see the strokes, brush strokes. It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So get the book. I think on Amazon, these books are probably $14, and it's a real bargain to get all these pictures. What I want to do is digitize everything so you can see it online, but then got to have infinite memory, infinite processing power.
You need just flew out of it. I know it's on Linux. It's where you swap space. There you go. It's like you need an enormous amount of swap space. But then that's going to slow things down, processing.
Another thing. I don't know if anybody up here remember the Go computers. Go computer.
Go.
The first the laptop, not laptop, the first tablet. I think very, very early when we were meeting, still in Haywood or something, the Go computer established in Foster City, and they showed the tablet with 8086. And I remember vividly what they demonstrated. What they want to emulate are basically books or notebooks. So you have this computer, the tablet, and emulate a book in that you can see every page. You can flip the pages, okay? And the things that's better than paper is that on each page, you have different features. If you click on it, it blow up. I'll bring in the details of it. And you can just keep on clicking. You can select different part, and if it has information data in it, it will just show you more the data. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.